Before there were cities, before there were mountains, before there were oceans or stars or even light itself, there was nothing. Not darkness the way you know darkness, not the kind you feel when you close your eyes at night. This was a deeper nothing, a complete emptiness. No sound, no shape, no time, no space, just nothing. But then something happened that would change everything forever. Now, to understand why this story matters, you have to understand something important. Every ancient civilization, every culture that has ever existed on Earth, has asked the same burning question. Where did all of this come from? The Egyptians said the sun god Ra rose up from a dark ocean and created the world. The Babylonians believed a great battle between gods tore the heavens and the earth into shape. People everywhere, across every age, looked up at the sky and wondered, who made this and why? But one ancient text gave a very different answer. An answer that didn't involve chaos or war or luck. An answer that started with a single, all-powerful voice. This is that story. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That's how it starts. Simple, direct, absolute. There was no material he worked with, no tools he used, no one who helped him. He simply spoke. And the moment he spoke, something exploded into existence. Let there be light. And there was light. Think about that for just a moment. The very first thing God ever created was not a planet, not a creature, not even a sky. It was light. And when he saw it, he called it good. He separated the light from the darkness, naming the light day and the darkness night. Evening came. Then morning came. That was day one. On the second day, God spoke again. He stretched out a vast expanse, like an enormous dome, and placed it in the middle of the waters. He called it the sky. Above the sky, water. Below the sky, water. Heaven and earth were beginning to take their separate shapes. Evening came. Morning came. Day two. On day three, God commanded the waters below the sky to gather together, and dry ground appeared. He called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters he called seas. Then he spoke again, and the earth burst open with life. The grass pushed up from the soil. Trees grew tall and heavy with fruit. Plants of every kind spread across the land. And with every new thing he made, God looked at it and said the same thing. It is good. 3 days in, and already the world had land, seas, light, sky, and plants. But look up. The sky above was still empty. No sun, no moon, no stars. Yet somehow there had already been 3 evenings and 3 mornings. Something powerful was happening here. Something beyond our full understanding. And it was about to get even more breathtaking. On the 4th day, God filled the empty sky. He placed 2 great lights in the heavens. A greater light to rule the day, and a lesser light to rule the night. The sun blazed to life. The moon glowed with a soft, quiet light. And then, as if that were not enough, he scattered the stars across the darkness. Billions of them, each one placed by his hand, not randomly, not by accident. He set them there to mark seasons and days and years. A perfect, living calendar written across the night sky. Evening came. Morning came. Day 4. On the 5th day, the seas were still. The skies were still empty of life. And God spoke into both. The oceans erupted with life, great sea creatures, and every kind of living thing that moves through water. And then the sky came alive with birds, soaring, diving, calling out across the open air. God blessed them. Be fruitful, he said. Fill the waters. Fill the skies. Evening, morning. Day 5. 6 days of creation were almost complete. The heavens were glorious. The seas were full. The earth was green and alive, but something was still missing. The world was beautifully made, yet it felt like it had been made for something. Like a grand stage set up and waiting for the main character to walk on. And then on the 6th day, God did something he had never done before. something so significant that he paused and thought it through first. He said, "Let us make man." First, on the sixth day, God filled the land with animals, livestock, wild creatures, every kind of creature that crawls along the ground. The world was now alive in every direction. Then God did something different, something deeply personal. He formed man from the dust of the ground, not spoken into existence from a distance, but shaped, formed, carefully made. And then God bent down close and breathed life into his nostrils, and the man became a living being. His name was Adam. God planted a garden in a place called Eden, a perfect home, rich and beautiful beyond description. He placed Adam in the garden to take care of it and to tend it. Every tree that was pleasing to the eye and good for food grew there. In the middle of the garden stood two special trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God gave Adam one instruction, just one. You may eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The day you eat from it, you will surely die. Freedom with one boundary, blessing with one warning. Then God looked at Adam, surrounded by beauty, tending a perfect garden, and he said something surprising. "It is not good for man to be alone." God brought every creature and bird before Adam, and Adam gave each one a name. But among all the living creatures on earth, not one of them was a suitable companion for him. So God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep, and while he slept, God took one of his ribs and closed up the place with flesh. From that rib, he formed a woman. When Adam woke up and saw her, he said with joy, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh." Together, the man and the woman were complete. God blessed them. He told them to be fruitful, to multiply, to fill the earth, and to care for it. Evening came, morning came, day 6. By the 7th day, everything was finished. The heavens, the earth, every living creature, every plant, every star, every ocean, every mountain, all of it complete. And God rested on the 7th day from all the work he had done. But this wasn't rest because he was tired. God doesn't grow weary. This was rest as a declaration, a pause to say, "This is done, this is good, this is exactly as it should be." He blessed the 7th day and made it holy, setting it apart from all the others. And so, from absolute nothing came everything, not by accident, not by chaos, not by the clash of warring gods, but by the word of one creator who looked at what he had made and called it very good. A God who didn't just build a universe, but knelt down in the dust to form a human being with his own hands and breathed his own breath into that person's lungs. Think about that. Out of everything in all of creation, the stars, the oceans, the towering mountains, the only thing God made in his own image was you. That is how this story begins. And if you think that's remarkable, wait until you see where it goes next.